Here you are, to show your strength. Embracing the fire to burn those you hate. Cleanse the world of the filth, burn it to a crisp, removing all those lost to thee, chosen by fate. Show them your strength, your own fury grown, power you made that drove you from home. Create a world without hate or remorse, within the sight of a burning corpse. Protect all you can with your fire and flame, until the heavens scream your name. Know the strength that you so desire is right there beside you, a friend you acquired. Together you go into the breach, burning and cleansing all you can reach. Never alone will you be now. Your friend called Embry is here without frown. Noses up close to you, ooh woo. What the fuck? Your strength is unending, as is your desire. To be the hero for all to admire. Know your power and know your strength. It's all up to you and your burning embrace. Remove all the filth from the world you adore. Con lentitud, poderosa, with powerful slowness. Burn.
I'm kind of a genius, some would say. Ooh, hover wings!
Well, yeah. You're a Harvard grad.
I go to a community college and have bees.
Hi y'all, sorry. Hi y'all, Major here. It's time to clean the streets. Today we're talking about everyone's favorite, totally not a terrorist. I'm doing everyone a favor. They just don't realize the fire is here to help. Felix. Now, it may come as a surprise to some of you, but fire hurts. It's kinda hot, and Felix is the same. The part about him hurting, not him being hot. His ability to alter an entire fight with an orchestra of combustion and inferno leads to him being a dominating presence in any fight he is in. Not only is he a good engager and tank, but if played and built correctly, he can melt enemies faster than steel beams. There's a certain notion going around that Felix is just a stat check character, which, yes, in some instances he is boiled down to, I have better items, but our little Ignis Vulpis has a lot of tools to give him the high ground in any situation. And he is more than just LMB gaming. There's a good amount of nuance behind his kit, from his myriad of simple CCs, one of the best engages in the game, a good reset game, and some of the best edge guarding in the cast. Felix is one of the biggest threats in the breach. Just don't ask him to grill for you, because he will ruin your steak and cook it well done. Felix's passive is Ignite. Felix's abilities that deal damage, which is all of them, build up fire on enemies, causing them to ignite. At the first level, it deals a decent amount of damage but cannot kill. On the second level, it deals more damage and can kill, like fire is wont to do. And though it isn't directly part of his passive, whichever ability you put on level 3, Felix gets its cooldown lowered whenever you ignite an enemy.
Do you have a preference of who you burn, you monster?
Now, it may surprise you, but fire hurts, especially when it's on you. It's not hard. The longer the little furry boy with the danger hose fights you, the more damage he deals. It's kind of the heart of his gameplay, wanting to keep you in his personal space, igniting everything around him. It also deals max health damage, so he's one of the best tank busters in the game, and being able to consistently get to level 2 is very important to his goal of burning all the vermin in his way. Also, though it's technically not part of his passive, it's my video, so I'm talking about the cooldown reduction on abilities. Deal with it. Whichever one of Felix's abilities you max, get a part of its cooldown refunded whenever you ignite an enemy or increase the level of the ignite, leading to an interesting decision on which ability to max. Do you want to be better at poking, scurrying around, or sucking? The choice is yours. Felix's primary is Flamethrower. Felix lights his Flamethrower, dealing constant damage in a cone in front of him, igniting enemies that he cooks long enough.
Burn in holy fire!
There's nothing quite as fun as burning enemies to a crisp. Holding LMB with Felix may not be the most skill-expressive way to fight, but Question. Who fucking cares? It's fun. Just menacingly walk toward your enemy with your no-no zone out in front of you. Felix can really bitch enemies out of any situation, cause fire hurts. Now, while it may be a constant stream of damage, his primary isn't really the main source of Felix's threat. While it can ramp up his numbers, it's mainly used to give him passive stacks, finish off low enemies, burn gliders, or destroy knowledge in Alexandria. It's not going to be the main reason you deal a ton of damage, or even win a fight. It's there as a constant tick of damage to keep your uptime going. It also leads to him being one of the better Abyss fighters in the game. His constant no-no zone over the Abyss really limits the interactability of Abyss fights when he's in the picture. Cause remember, it's only one damage that ruins the enemy's ability to use their glider, so you don't have to do much before you... Felix's secondary is Embry Bolt. Felix shoots a bolt of fire forward, dealing a significant amount of damage and igniting enemies on hit. If the enemy is already ignited, hitting them with a secondary spreads the burn and increases its level. Hitting the bolt also knocks enemies back and resets their momentum.
From downtown! Boom shakalaka!
Nice.
Time to embrace your inner Vasily Zaitsev. You've got some fools to snipe. What? Did you think that you were playing a character that couldn't function outside of melee combat? Don't be ridiculous. Felix ain't some idiot that limits himself to only being a close-range hunter. Felix's secondary is one of the most consistent poking tools in the game. Its projectile size, speed, and effectiveness make it extremely satisfying to hit. That being said, it isn't something you want to spam. Fuck off, Amplifier. We'll get to you later. It's an extremely impactful ability that can dramatically impact the flow of a fight and sway it in your favor. You can use it to restrict enemies from getting in close, use it to force an enemy into a position to cook a bit longer, snipe enemies that think they're anything more than a red shirt, stall those cowards so they can't run, or spread the burn you graciously gave them to their nearby buddies. Nothing says friendship like giving your friends a burning sensation. Want to snipe an enemy? Fireball. Restrict an enemy's movement? Fireball. Spread some burn? Just fireball. Feeling a bit antsy? Just fireball. Just Fireball. Oh yeah, so y'all are probably wondering, who's Embry? Well, with the open beta launch and the push for the game launching soon, we got some lore. So Felix was part of a race of fire-controlling foxes, but he himself didn't have any powers. Feeling left out, he went exploring into the woods and found a friend, Embry. With Embry, he made his Flamethrower, and it was so impressive he burned down the village and was exiled. Now he wants to prove himself as a hero. Wait, Felix is just a fucking shonen protagonist. Different powers from the norm, shunned by his people, and he still wants to be a hero? And he's a fox. Wait, he's just fucking no- Hi y'all, Major here. Today we're talking about Felix's mobility ability, Pyro Pounce. Felix dashes forward, dealing damage to the first target hit, knocking them back, and applying half a stack of Ignite. He gets 2 dashes in total. Scurry to the left. Scurry to the right. Take it back now, y'all. Dashing around to fight to ensure you can keep an uptime on your burn is the heart of this ability, making sure you are the stickiest little gremlin you can be. Make those dreams a reality. On top of that, it is yet another form of soft CC in his kit to ensure that he can keep the enemies in a position that he wants. He can also use this to reach the second step in the 3-part guide of any girl boss and gatekeep the players from getting back to safe ground, making him exceptionally good at forcing enemies to get themselves spiked. But Major, I hear you ask, his class is Frontliner, and my simple brain cannot comprehend text on a page. I need visual stimuli to understand the complex development meant to accentuate his tenacious nature. Do not worry, well-spoken illiterate person, I will now tell you how Felix is able to play like a tank. Felix's special ability is Heat Shield. Felix spins his tail around him, dealing damage to all enemies in a circle, applying anti-heal, and pulling all enemies hit inward. He gains a shield scaling with how many enemies he hits, and the cooldown is reset if he knocks an enemy.
Oh yeah, it's all coming together.
As he says himself, "Give me a hug." Felix loves hugs. Hot, burning hugs that usually lead to someone dying. Felix's special is arguably the most make-or-break ability in his kit, where a good spin can lead to a free win in any fight. Missing just leaves you naked and afraid in the open. Give the enemy team a good suck, pulling them into the Kenny Loggins area. Felix's special is an amazing tool to engage on an enemy team, making them kiss their homies goodnight for the long sleep. Not only is it a good engage tool, but the spin is also an excellent tool for extending fights, making him not only survive a little longer, but also making sure they can't run away. A more nuanced and specific use for his spin is to force or extend abyss play. His pull works in the air as well as on the ground, so if you're over the abyss, you can either force enemies to stay there with you, or pull someone into the pool of empty space known as the abyss, because the water's getting warm, so you might as well swim. Using your spiral move to direct an enemy into a specific location is always important, and is one of the most important skills to learn to play Felix. The spiral move. Spiral. Way.
It's just a jump to the left.
Hi all, Major here. Sorry I've been having to make this video over multiple days. Been weird. Felix's ult is fly to the Firefox. Felix mounts his Flamethrower and rides it like Unicycle, going forward at moderate speeds, leaving a wake fire on the ground behind him. This fire deals high amount of damage, slows, and builds Ignite quickly. You can also use his spin during his ult without cancelling it.
Man, this is one of them moments. Catch a ride!
Here we go! Time for Operation Range Hand. Felix has one of the most impactful ults in the game. Paint a masterpiece of scorched earth, exemplifying a pure lack of care for the state of the environment. Just burn it all. Engage on the enemy team, forcing them to play around the large danger area that you have brought with you. Felix's ult is an amazing way to get in, a great way to wall off a portion of the map, an amazing damage tool, and a great escape tool. To make the Warcrime ult an even better engage than it already is, you can use your special while you are ulting in, meaning you can pull enemies into the embers left in your wake, but using any of his other abilities cancels your ult, so you aren't hard locked into a toxic, unhealthy relationship with your ult, like you are with Bishop. A big part of Felix's ult is also the lingering pain on the ground, and your ability to keep enemies inside of it. With all of his other abilities, Felix really likes to bully his enemies into the fire, keeping them burning as long as possible, because if you didn't know, fire hurts. A few other important things to know about his ult. No matter what your elevation is, the trail will always be left on the ground. You can have your speed adjusted by other outside forces, like wind rings. If you ult over the abyss, you will not leave a magic floating trail of fire, and if someone glides over your fire, they get spiked onto the fire, burning them for the foolishness of thinking they can compete with the one who will become them.
Wake the fuck up, samurai. We have a city to burn.
Now that you know what Felix does, I'm going to do something a bit against my norm. Some would call it heretical to my own character. I'm going to talk about item builds. I know. I'm sorry. I'm ashamed of myself as well. But the new items have led to a bunch of different options of play, especially for Felix, who has a lot of different synergies with his kit. First off, let's talk about Last Stand and Bubble Blade, the ambulance build, my beloved. This build truly lets you fulfill the fantasy of being a true drain tank. Sustain as long as you can, healing out the dummies who think getting next to a flamethrower wielding fox was a good idea. Turbo Booster and Swift Blade, the Skaven experience. Dash and run around at Mach 10, dancing around everyone as a speedy little rat, but be warned, you aren't gonna have mana, so you have to take some moments to refill your Turbo Booster and Perseverance, the Skaven experience, but slightly more viable. Go fast as heck, but also have a slight bit more beefiness, and though it may be better, it isn't as fun. Last Stand and Greed, the basic bitch. You picked this because you were told to. You wanted to be just like the cool kids, and picked the build because someone told you it was the optimal build. Don't be sheep. Be unique. Heroes aren't generic. They...
Perseverance and Scholar, the stat stick. You only want more stats, more health, get bigger, get those gains. Gigantism and Scholar, the cooler stats.
Mind Blade and Amplifier, shooting intimidating measured
Sniper monkey.
Embry shot to poke enemies from a range. Don't stop shooting. Never stop shooting. Don't. Syringes really help you keep that fire rate. You want to poke enemies from range and chunk them as much as possible.
It's time for the burning of Prospero.
These different builds are all very... I don't think I can understate how similar Felix is to 0110001. Vive Infuser and Bubble Blade. Does this really work?
His gimmick is that he really likes fire!
No. No, it does not.
Sacrifice, fortitude, hatred.
When choosing items, you want... Fuck the meta. Fuck builds. Do whatever you feel like, man. And that is factually why Welcome to the Black Parade by My Chemical Romance is, at best, a... Hi y'all, Major here. Today we are talking about some powers for Felix. I've got 4 for you today. Bloodstone, Delicate Barrier, Rescue Turtle, and Bungee Gum. And on top of those 4, Felix is with mana powers, so he can avoid mana items. Bloodstone is a pretty straightforward power for Felix, especially with the ambulance build. It's very good at opening windows and breaking hands. Delicate Barrier has something that is extremely Felix specific. See, Delicate Barrier makes you take half damage when you're at full health. Guess what doesn't count? That's right, your shield. So if you hit a good spin or take the Overguard build I about earlier, you can take a bunch of reduced damage up front. Just think, forever the first. My bubble can't burst when you go in and you'll be set. Rescue Turtle just has one cool thing with it. That's it. Last but certainly not least is Bungee Gum. It's good on him for two reasons. It gives you an extremely good, consistent hard CC to use in a fight. You can also put up a wall and launch yourself like Bishop across the map at extreme speeds.
What the fuck?
Agreed.
Before we finish, I do want to mention, Felix is one of the better hunters to play on high ping. Not only because you don't have to aim his flamethrower that much, but also because he doesn't have any time-sensitive abilities or combos like Bishop does. I personally don't mind playing Felix in EU, not only because he is better on ping, but also because EU is pretty predictable. Yeah, let's invade Poland again. It'll surely go well this time, but I think that's it for Felix. The little gremlin really lets you burn your way through any engagement, burning bright to be a hero we all know you can be. Just remember, he isn't a free win or free damage and kills. You may have to work for those kills. Sometimes you can get gunned down before you get to your targets, and for anyone complaining about his damage, you let a crazed fox with a flamethrower get into melee range with you. It's your fault. Thank you all for watching, and I will see you in the next... What is that? No, she was contained. You can't take. Yeah! Oh my god, he's just Naruto! Of course! How did I not see that? Next time, we're gonna set some standards.
Well, the difference being one has a job and the other's mental sickness.